Right, so for today's video, we actually have an update on a situation we spoke about a few days ago involving a cafe and a $1,600 table that apparently weighs £600 but was knocked over by a 3-year-old, and then when the table smashed, the mother of the child said that she wasn't allowed to leave until she give her credit card over. This situation well and truly blew up, right? The original video is on about 13 million views at this point, and then you've also got to bear in mind the amount of people that have spoke about it and made their own videos talking about the situation. And since my last video, we actually have quite a few updates, the main one being that the company, the cafe, have actually responded. And they've responded in multiple ways. There's this written statement, and then they've also released the CCTV footage of the incident. And then, of course, following that, we then have a response from the child's parents. Like I said, there's quite a lot to get through here. Right, so just to give you a fast recap of what's happened here. There's a couple people you need to be aware of. Or there's a person you need to be aware of, and then also a cafe. The cafe being the Hazelnut Cafe in New Jersey. I guess it's like half cafe, half boutique store. So there's like the Hazel Boutique and then the Hazelnut Cafe. I believe they're basically like joint together, same company, but one's a cafe, one's a clothing store. And now the person you'd be aware of here is a user called Beauty Hut, who recently uploaded a video talking about her experience at Hazelnut Cafe. It was involving this table right here, which is a very expensive table, about $1,600 the store says, and it's not fit for purpose. First of all, it's not like a dining table or anything like that. It shouldn't be in a cafe with customers who could potentially knock it over because it's not built for that. And I mean, looking at this video, you can see how easily it wobbles, right? This was actually uploaded on Hazelnut Cafe's own TikTok. They showed themselves like how much it wobbles in previous videos. It's just not stable. And of course, that is a big safety concern, right? I mean, this is a table that apparently weighs £600 and was knocked over by a 3-year-old. That should have never been able to have happened. And as we can also see in this video uploaded by a user called Sip Tea with Brittany, she actually found the table and where you can buy it. And it turns out it's a console table. It shouldn't be in a cafe where you can put like food and drinks on it and stuff because it's not made for that. If you're going to have a table that is that heavy in a public place where there's going to be children and a bunch of people constantly, as we heard, like this cafe is a busy place. If you're going to have a heavy table like that in a place like this, which probably isn't a good idea in itself, but it needs to be stable. So knowing this information now, it really does feel like it was only a matter of time that something like this was going to happen, and it happened to Beauty Hut and her daughter, and she uploaded a video talking about the fact that when she went to go and order a drink, her daughter actually knocked down the table.
I'm at the register paying for a coffee and I hear a loud bang, and I look, and my daughter, who was trying to push the table away from her, pushed it over, and the table, which I later learned was 600 pounds, broke into a bunch of pieces. It was a stone table.
And yeah, we can see a picture of the damages here, right? So this is the table, obviously pieces are broken off. Beauty Hut then explains that she spoke to the owner. She said that she wanted to like fix the situation, right? Like she'll pay for the table, whatever else. She then finds out that the table is $1,600 and that she's not allowed to leave the cafe until she hands over her license and credit card.
Well, the table is almost $2,000. It's $1,600. So you can't leave until I have your license and a credit card.
Which again is very concerning, right? Obviously we're hearing Beauty Hut's side of things here, and Hazelnut Cafe have a very different side of the story, which we'll get to. But from Beauty Hut's side of the story here, she's saying that she wasn't able to leave the cafe until she handed over like her information and a credit card. Again, very concerning. Beauty Hut then goes on to explain that in another conversation with the owner, she just kept mentioning the fact that they have security footage. They saw what happened, right? Which is a bit odd because Beauty Hut never disputed what happened. She's saying like, yeah, my daughter did knock over the table. Which to me, and seemingly a lot of people have heard about this situation, isn't really the biggest issue here. The biggest issue is the safety concern of having such a heavy table that is so unstable to the point that a child knocked it over.
All the owner kept repeating was, you know, we have everything on video. I stuck around for 20 minutes to give you my contact information so that you can contact me, so that I can make it right by you guys and your business. So for you to keep repeating that everything's on video, I'm not disputing the fact that my kid pushed your table.
So yeah, that's a very fast recap as to what we spoke about in the last video. Now, since my last video, Hazelnut Cafe and Hazel Boutique on both their accounts have actually responded. The statement on both accounts is the same, so let's have a read through here. It says, first and foremost, we are extremely grateful that the 3-year-old, her grandmother, mother, and every customer who is present are safe and unharmed. We understand this incident may have been startling when the table fell with a loud noise, and our priority has been to ensure the family felt supported and cared for. Clear surveillance footage confirms that the young girl accidentally kicked kicked the table, causing it to tip over. Thankfully, it did not strike anyone and the child showed no signs of distress, walking away calmly from the scene. Following the incident, we personally called the child's mother to express our concern, offer our support, and share our direct contact information should she need anything. As an added precaution, we have since removed all tables from our locations to eliminate any risk of a similar incident, which is definitely a good thing. We also want to be completely transparent. We would never hold anyone against their will. The mother was not charged for the damaged table. Even after asking how she could make it right given the table broke, we requested her contact information for insurance purposes. At Hazel Boutique, safety and hospitality are the foundation of everything we do. While this was an unfortunate and rare occurrence, our commitment to creating a safe, welcoming environment for every guest has never been stronger. We are incredibly thankful for our loyal customers and the communities we serve, and will continue to do everything possible to ensure their safety and well-being. So yeah, like I said, a bit of a different story to what we heard previously, right? From Hazelnut Cafe's perspective, in their statement, they are saying that they never held anyone against their will. They're basically saying this whole thing about Beauty Hut not being allowed to leave until she gave a license and a credit card. They're basically saying that's a lie. And I mean, obviously, there's a very easy way to prove this, right? Because they have CCTV footage. They've actually released CCTV footage of the incident. But they haven't released any footage of what happened afterwards. And I would assume that if they have the footage of the incident, which they do, they probably have the footage of the conversations that happened afterwards, proving whether or not they told Beauty Hut that she wasn't allowed to leave. I also do find it funny that they added this section in being clear surveillance footage confirms that the young girl accidentally kicked the table, which, again, has never been disputed. No one has denied this part of the story at all, but they keep bringing it up. As we just heard in Beauty Hut's video, she is saying that on the phone call they kept saying, we have the footage, we have the footage, we have the footage. And last thing on this statement, I do find it a bit odd that they didn't respond to any of the concerns that the vast majority of people who have heard about the situation have brought up, and that's the table, right? I mean, they did say that they removed the tables, but I feel like there should be something a bit more than that. Maybe I'm being a bit stupid, but I do think that they should be taking some more accountability as to what their part in all of this is, right? They put customers in danger by even having these tables in there in the first place. Again, I know they've said that they've took away the tables, right? But this situation is pretty heavily their fault, right? You can't blame a 3-year-old in a situation like this. A 3-year-old shouldn't ever be able to do something like this. And luckily the situation wasn't worse, right? But it could have been, and that's the main issue here. Now, following this, there was also a statement from Beauty Hut who said, a few days ago, an unfortunate incident occurred in the Hazelnut Cafe. My 3-year-old daughter accidentally knocked over a table which damaged it. I immediately offered to pay for any damages. As stated in my TikTok video, the acting managers at the Hazelnut Cafe told me I wasn't allowed to leave unless I provided a copy of my driver's license and credit card to pay for the table. It was a very stressful situation, especially with my toddler there. I'm so thankful and humbled by the outpouring of public support. It has meant the world to our family. Since the incident, the Hazelnut Cafe did reach out to apologise for how our family was treated. We have accepted their apology and are satisfied. We want to move forward peacefully and do not wish to comment on this matter any further. So yeah, reading the statement, first of all, there's obviously a different side of the story here. Beauty Hut again is saying, yes, they did tell me I wasn't allowed to leave, but it also does feel like at the end of the statement that the situation would maybe be over, right? But unfortunately, the situation wasn't over at this point, because NJ.com, the New Jersey Advance, I believe, actually posted an article, and as we can see by the headline here, it says, a 3-year-old breaks a $1,600 table. NJ, mum says cafe demanded her credit card, and then there was actually some surveillance footage shown. Now, I'm not going to show the surveillance footage in this video. We'll see why in a second. Basically, Beauty Hut, the mum, has said that she doesn't want the footage shown everywhere, so I'm going to respect that and not show the footage. The other thing I will show is this screenshot of the surveillance footage. I've completely blocked them out so you can't see her daughter and the grandmother, I believe. But what you can see is the table on the floor. So this is where it got knocked over. And just to describe the footage to you, this table got knocked down so easily. And it basically confirmed everything we knew before, right? This table wasn't stable in the slightest, and Beauty Hut's 3-year-old daughter should have never been able to knock it down, especially this easily. And in fact, at the end of the footage, you actually see 2 adults have to pick up the table. Why the Hazelnut Cafe released this footage? I'm not really sure, right? Because it doesn't make them look good. If anything, it makes them look a lot worse. And now following this footage getting released, as we'll see in Beauty Hut's newest video, who, by the way, was saying that she was satisfied with the situation, leaving it there, is now pissed off again.
Hi everyone, I'm just here to say that I have never given consent and won't be giving consent to use, get out of here, to use my daughter and her image or her video in any posts. Please, I'm asking you as a mother, please don't repost this. I appreciate all of your support, but this is a 3-year-old toddler, and I think you've all seen the video, and I'm just asking you, please don't repost it. I get it. It's trending, but it's my kid. So please. And no, I have not given consent for that video to be released.
Now, to the best of my knowledge, legally, the Hazelnut Cafe can publicise the footage, right? Because it happened on their property. But regardless of that, I don't really understand what they were trying to get out of this by releasing the footage, because again, it kind of just proves what Beauty Hut said from the beginning. It doesn't look good for Hazelnut Cafe. But now also, it's kind of brought up the whole situation again, right? Because Beauty Hut's made this video. As we'll see, her husband has actually responded to all this as well. So I don't really understand the thought process. I don't know what they thought they were going to get out of this. But either way, as I just mentioned, Beauty Hut's husband, the child's father, has actually commented on this video responding to kind of all this situation. And this is kind of the first time we've actually heard from him, right? So let's see what he has to say. Can you imagine the kind of people we're dealing with? First of all, our daughter didn't kick the table. Do you see how easy that table fell? It was an accident waiting to happen. They called me for a credit card and wouldn't let my wife and daughter leave. I was a few hours away in northern New Jersey, and once I got on the phone, I told my wife to leave immediately. The owner and the manager were on the phone with me and said they were calling the cops unless we give a credit card. The worst kind of people. Thank God nobody was hurt. So yeah, as we can see, he's obviously backing up Beauty Hut's story here and said that he actually heard it himself on the phone. But yeah, I think this statement being released by Hazelnut Cafe, especially with releasing the security footage, has only brought up the situation to be even bigger than it was previously. People are kind of talking about it again. It's now resulted in a bunch more videos of people giving their thoughts on like the boutique and their experience there. I saw a video from someone claiming that she saw like Shein tags being cut off the clothes and they were putting on the Hazel Boutique ones instead. I've also seen a bunch of videos of people trying the drinks at Hazelnut Cafe. There was one video where someone had actually recorded a review of it previously but was too scared to upload it at the time because Hazelnut Cafe was maybe liked at the time and she didn't want to get like hated on. She's now actually released it. And yeah, like I mentioned before, they're getting rid of the tables, which is a good thing. They're taking it through insurance, which is a good thing. That's how it should be done, rather than going through Beauty Hut, for example. But also, they haven't really directly addressed the fact that that was a massive safety concern in the first place. And they did put people at risk by having the tables there, because it could have really hurt somebody. Now, a quick thing I'm going to mention at the end of this video, a bunch of the negative reviews have been removed. Basically, all the negative reviews on Google for Hazelnut Cafe that have been released since Beauty Hut's video, maybe bar one review has been left there, which was 2 days ago. It's 5 stars. But there was thousands of negative reviews after Beauty Hut, right? So obviously the overall reviews were really bad, but we didn't really know what they were like beforehand. There was a lot of negative reviews on there, but we didn't know the overall rating. But now that basically all of the reviews, bar one, since this incident have been removed, we can see what the overall rating was, and it was 2.7 stars out of 5. Before this situation. So yeah, judging from this, they didn't exactly have the best reputation in the first place, and we saw that with some of the older reviews that we read in the last video. A lot of people kind of mentioned the staff and whatnot, but yeah, it feels like a lot of people have had negative experiences here. But yeah, with all that being said, I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about in today's video. Did any of the updates that we spoke about today change your opinions, strengthen the opinions you already had? Just let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'm going to leave it there. So if you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new. Also, if you're interested in some other content, me and Emily have a channel. We've actually just released like kind of our first proper van life road trip video since like last year at this point. So if you're interested in that, we worked hard on it. We think it's a good video, so hopefully you do too. If you're interested in that, that's linked in the description. And yeah, until next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye. But yeah, I think we're gonna go and try and grab a bite to eat. We're right next to the beach as well. But yeah, I think we make our way to the beach, grab some food and see what there is to see.
Stop for a minute. Stop and breathe for a minute. Long it over your head, try to listen instead, won't you? Think for a minute, who you wanna be for a minute. Don't get over your head, you're like everyone else, aren't you?
And also, by the way, it was raining earlier when we went to Tesco. As soon as we got towards the beach, boiling again. It's like it knew. It wanted us to have a good time. I appreciate it, Mother Nature. If you're watching, if you're a subscriber, of course.